Okay. Now, the big game of the weekend, really, I thought was the City Arsenal game, Liam. It was a fascinating game in many respects. A lot of poor play, particularly defensive play by both teams. Bad goals given away. What did you make of City for a start, Liam?
I'd make a comment first of all about both teams. If you're looking for those two teams to be title contenders this season or next season, you would say not a chance.
Yeah.
No real structure to the team. Either side was all over the place defensively. And we all know that you have to have. You have to be tight at the back if you're going to go and challenge for the league or going to go and win a league. And that was my first thought. Without going into the ins and outs of it, I think City, if you take away Aguero, he's still a top player for me. The manager has had doubts about him. He dropped him from the team earlier on in the season. I think the left winger Sané is decent. He's speedy, but he doesn't look sometimes the most intelligent. He was getting caught offside, just standing out on the wing. He wasn't looking along the line, so I would have my doubts about him. De Bruyne in the middle of the park was very, very poor when he was on the ball. We've talked about him before when he's been playing for Belgium. We've watched him closely.
Yeah.
He gives the ball away. Sometimes you can't understand how he's giving it away or what he was looking at doing with the ball. So, I'm looking at Manchester City. I think they're actually miles away from winning the Champions League, never mind the league. Winning the Champions League is what those people want. And I think they're absolutely miles away from it. Now, we will have to see what he does in the transfer market in the summer. But, there's not that many of the very, very best players that they could get unless they actually spend an absolute fortune on persuading clubs to release players.
Yeah,
I can't see City making that jump of level to, let's say, be a Champions League semi-finalist or win the league in England.
Now, John, I mean, that is a huge leap in one transfer window. What did you make of the match?
Well, I find City sort of fascinating in some ways to watch, Eamon.
Yeah.
Like when you see them inside, they look really, really good. And I've never seen a team look so good and then look so bad.
Yeah.
In the space of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
When they started the match on Saturday, I thought they were going to wipe Arsenal off the floor. Didn't happen. And then they concede goals, which they shouldn't be conceding, as Arsenal do as well. And I'd agree with Liam that if you have a defensive situation like that, you're not going to have consistency. I mean, like bad teams will score goals against you, and you get bad goals scored against you, like we did with Arsenal. And if the second header was a header, it was a good header, but it was a free header just the same. Yeah. So they don't have that tightness that Chelsea have, for example, and the teams over the years. Mourinho's teams at Chelsea had this defensive tightness. Man U, when they had it, like they're scoring a lot of goals, but they had Vidic and they had all the various defenders. So they don't have that Manchester City. Now, whether they get it or not, or whether we can buy players who can do it and do it naturally without a lot of coaching, because he's never had an emphasis on defending at Barcelona or anywhere else for that matter. He had great players, but the defences were never that good. So I think he's in a similar situation to Manchester City, and there needs to be a lot of progress for them to do it.
Yeah.